The allegation is shocking. A Florida mom says EMS workers refused to take her daughter to an emergency room because they assumed the family would not be able to foot the bill.
They didn't take any vitals. They didn't take any blood pressure. They didn't check her temperature. The whole conversation as the EMS drivers put my child in my car was this was what was best for us because we couldn't afford an ambulance.
30-year-old Crystal Galloway had a C-section just days before when she was found unresponsive at home. Her mom, who you just saw, Nicole Black, called 911 and requested an ambulance. But she says when fire rescue crews got there, they told her she should drive her daughter to the hospital herself because of the price. Officials say Black's version of the story is not true, that EMS workers would never talk to someone about how expensive an ambulance ride is. Sadly, Galloway died 5 days later. 4 medics were suspended, and today they find out whether or not they can keep their jobs. Harry Nelson is the founder of an LA-based healthcare law firm. He joins me now, also the author of From Obamacare to Trump Care, Why You Should Care. So, Harry, in this case, if it's true, it seemed like nobody cared, and they thought, oh, she can't afford it, she can get her own ride.
Yeah. Susan, it's no. This is really a bizarre and terrible, tragic situation. The idea that emergency medical first responders are having conversations with loved ones of a person in distress about how much healthcare costs or whether they can afford it is something that should never be happening.
And can care be denied, Harry, because of financial reasons? Can someone who shows up say, can you afford it or not?
So we have a law in this country called EMTALA. It stands for the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act. And it was passed 30 years ago because of situations like this where people were turned away from hospitals. So the answer is that it's illegal for hospitals and for ambulance companies, for hospitals that have emergency rooms and ambulance companies to deny care to the point of stabilizing a patient. There are other parts of our system where where your ability to pay can be a factor, but not in the emergency room and ambulance context. That should never happen.
And apparently the EMS workers didn't follow 3 very key protocol issues here. They falsified records to say they couldn't find her. They failed to take her vitals, failed to get informed refusal or any signed paperwork if she refused their care. The bigger picture on this, should we be frightened that this could possibly happen in the future to anyone else?
I think this is a real issue. The denial of emergency care for economic motives is illegal and it's widespread. And 30 years after we passed a law to deal with it, we're still seeing it pop up all over the place. It comes up on this issue and also on issues like patient dumping. And I think it's incumbent on all of us to really advocate and make sure that our loved ones are not people who are experiencing this part of our healthcare system.
All right, Harry Nelson, thank you. We appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.